Good morning. Welcome to Unspoken Exit, a series about suicide, suffering, and staying. We often think of suicidal people as visibly struggling, but some of the most overwhelmed, exhausted, hopeless, helpless people are the most reliable, supportive, and strong. They're the ones everyone leans on. They're the therapist, the parent, the mentors, the doctors, the nurses, the janitors, the friends who always have it together. So what happens when the caretaker becomes suicidal? Well, burnout doesn't always look like someone's falling apart. Sometimes it looks like responding to everyone else and their crisis while ignoring your own. Holding space for others while no one holds space for you. Smiling and showing up while secretly fantasizing about disappearing. Caretakers often feel immense shame for even having suicidal thoughts. Then there's the trap of the helper role. And this is when caretakers open up about their own suicidal ideations. They often hear, "But you're the strong one. We need you. What about your clients? You can't feel this way. What about everyone else?" Suddenly, their disclosure turns into another emotional labor, a task to manage somebody else's or everyone else's emotional state. They're expected to comfort people that they just reached out to for help. This dynamic is both exhausting and dehumanizing at the same time. It's incredible. What caretakers need to hear, if you're someone who gives and gives and gives and you're feeling like you can't anymore, here's what you need to know. You don't need to earn rest. Let me say that again. You don't need to earn rest. You don't need to break down completely to be taken seriously. And you don't have to keep carrying everyone else. Your exhaustion is real. Your desire to disappear doesn't make you ungrateful. It makes you human. The world doesn't just need you as a helper. It needs you as a full human being with needs, pain, softness, limits. This is about saying fuck it. If the people around me aren't going to be able to navigate their life if something were to happen to me, that's their problem, not mine. That means that they have become so reliant on me. One of the things that I say to 100% of my clients is therapy has a start date and an end date. Whether that's because I fire you as a client, you fire me as a therapist, you achieve your goals, I retire, I die, something happens to me, therapy will end. And if by the time therapy ends, we're still meeting on a weekly basis, it's because I have not done my job. We haven't worked on how to become independent. We've worked on how to build reliance. As a caretaker, even when our boundaries are firm and we have taught people to be self-sufficient and self-reliant, and there can still be this immense pressure to still take care of everyone around us. Whether we've fallen into that role, whether that role is actually comforting, whether it allows us, that's the only thing that's keeping us here. That's the only thing, that's the only reason why. That might not be all that. That might be worth looking into. As a therapist, this is uncomfortable for me to say, but I'm gonna fucking say it because I know I was gonna say it in one of the sessions. As a therapist, one of the things that I hear from new clients, I'd say a good 80% of people that reach out is, wow, you were one of the only ones who have reached out to me. Or I've been looking for a therapist for X amount of months or years. I was in therapy for 5, 6, 10 years with my therapist, and it was more of a weekly check-in. There's a lot of personal resentment against my profession because of how many individuals do not show up. Do not show up at all, don't show up in the way that clients need, don't want to admit their own limitations, or just want to collect clients because that's how they make their living. There's a lot of professionals who do more harm than good. And other professionals know this, which is why it can be so hard for us to seek out other people, because we don't want our friends, we don't want our colleagues to know what's going on, but we need referrals of people who trust. But we also know that confidentiality isn't always upheld by a lot of folks. And so there's concerns about what the ramifications are in a professional setting, in a personal setting, even within ethical ramifications. And so we oftentimes suffer in silence, or we reach out and we know exactly what it is that we're looking for. I know I need a therapist who fits these criteria. With this particular way of engaging, I need someone who fits this, and we can't find that. Or those therapists have a wait list. We pay the consultation fees to meet with somebody and we meet with them and we think that everything's going to work, and then they don't live up to what they promise. I see this time and time again with my clients, and I have seen this as a person who spent 8 years looking for therapists. It is a horrible experience when we are ready to reach out and we are ready to get the support that we need, that we're met, and we have to then do additional work after to filter out those who are unwilling, unable, or just can't meet our fucking needs. And that can be a really, really hard place to be. So if you are a helper, there are amazing resources out there. Unfortunately, if you're somebody who's looking for mental health services, unfortunately, there is a level of work that you have to do to make sure that the person or people you are reaching out to are responsive, are able to meet your needs, are able to show up for you in the way that you need them to. Especially if you are someone who is struggling with suicidal ideations. Let me not say struggling, because not everybody struggles. If you are somebody who is having suicidal ideations, if you're somebody who somebody has confided in you about their suicidal ideations, the support that you get has to be support that is going to meet your needs. And it's a lot more difficult than scrolling through a list of therapists and just picking one, eeny, meeny, miny, mo. There's a level of research and work that you have to put in to ensure that the person that you trust to show up for you is the person who is ready, willing, and able. So I know that part of that might sound like a huge hindrance, but the other part of that is we exist. There's just some really shitty experiences out there that make the bar to be a great therapist super fucking low. So, I knew I was going to say it in one of these episodes, but it came out today. So, in our next episode, we'll explore suicide in the context of chronic illness, aging, and the desire to have agency over one's own life. So, thank you all for being here. Thank you for listening to my tangent and my resentment. But help is out there. Support is out there. Support is available. But thank you all for being here. And with that, I look forward to seeing you in the next episode. I hope you all have a wonderful, amazing rest of this beautiful day. And I'll see you soon.